Welcome aboard my Lego yacht. I call it the Seabattical. And I'm gonna walk around here and hopefully not trip over anything to give you a little tour of the outside. And then we're gonna go on a tour of the inside. All right, so this boat has 4 decks. We have sun deck, upper deck, main deck, lower deck. And we're gonna start with the sun deck. If this was an aquaholic tour, we'd probably start like aft somewhere climbing aboard, but it's Lego, so we're not gonna do it quite that way. So at the very front, we've got some solar panels, and then here's a place to drive the boat. This is the main place to drive it. It's just sort of a secondary place. Here's ways to get to the upper deck. So we've got a little set of stairs that's outdoors. And this is a little hatch where there's a little dog. That's Bruley the dog. And if you go down that hatch, there's a ladder to get down to the main place to drive the boat. Here's a little outdoor fire pit with some loungy chairs. We've got a grill, which I'm gonna try to open without breaking. Little grill. Actually kind of a big grill. And then here's an ice maker and sink. And then as we head aft, we're gonna pull this top portion off. That's more solar panels. So you can see better. Here's a deck locker, storing folded up chairs. And here's, oh, that chair's missing. Here's a day head, which I'm just gonna show from the top rather than try to open that little door. It's not much to see, it's a toilet and a sink. And then aft is a pool. Swimming pool with a little deck next to it for watching stuff. And you might argue that putting a swimming pool at the very top of a boat isn't a great idea because of the weight of the water. And you're probably right about that, but it's Lego, so it's all fine. And here's one of those fold-out chairs that were stored in the deck locker. Now we're on the upper deck, and we're gonna start at the forwardmost portion where we've got this forward deck. Here's anchor handling. Here's a jet ski. Here's a little crane for lifting this little boat. So this is the ship's tender. It's got a little motor that can swing downward so they can drive to and from shore. And then inside the boat, we've got where they drive, the main place where they drive. There's the captain, and there's a little compass, various controls, steering wheel, throttles and things, computer stuff. I should also add there's this ladder. This goes to the sun deck. We see another ladder that goes down to some of the crew spaces. Here's one of the doors that's on the port side, and here's a door to the starboard side. We can also climb off the boat here at this little opening in the railing. Over here is that exterior staircase that went up to the sun deck. Looking back inside, here's the day head, another toilet and sink. This is the captain's quarters and bathroom. So the captain gets a fairly luxurious little cabin there with a queen-size bed, some cabinetry, a little desk, and the bathroom with a shower. All the soap on board is pink soap. And then aft is the gym. Little exercise bike, treadmill, some weightlifting things, little lounges for hanging out. Aft of that is the main, what do we call this? Aft sun deck, I guess. No, it's not a sun deck. This is the aft upper deck. I don't know what to call this. Anyway, there's a sliding doors to make this sort of a continuous open space, or we can close it up to keep the air conditioning inside. There's space for seating 8, and then a hot tub, which can seat 4 comfortably and 6 if you're really friendly. Now we're touring the main deck. Once again, we'll start at the forwardmost part. This is the owner's cabin. So I imagine my little Lego minifigure and partner, this is where we, I don't know, hang out. Here's a walk-in closet, king-size bed, big old plant, couch. Bathroom is fairly luxurious. There's an actual bathtub. Check it out. Little shower and sink. And then over here is the toilet. Moving aft, we've got the lab. Most yachts don't have a lab, but my Lego minifigure equivalent invents stuff, and this is why they can afford this yacht. My wife and I can afford this yacht because we're inventing stuff. That's what I'm going with. Here's the day head on this level. Once again, toilet, sink. Here's stairs for getting to the upper deck, and then another set of stairs for getting to the lower deck. Here's the salon, which is sort of a combination living room and dining room. So dining room seats 8, and then there's sort of lounging spaces back here. I don't know what that is. Cleaning bottle. How'd that get in there? Aft of the salon is the cockpit. Once again, we have sliding doors, so we can slide these open and make this all one continuous social space, or we can close it up if we want to. And this cockpit area, this couch is pretty nice because it can be part of that social space continuous with the salon, or we can rotate it around. And now it can be, you're watching the aft end of the boat, looking at a sunset or a sunrise or just the view, whatever it happens to be. Here's another small grill. So after looking at the cockpit, we're then going to move forward again. So here's the salon once again. Here's all the stuff that I showed before. But now here's the galley. So the galley has firefighting equipment. Here's 2 ovens, here's a stove, dishwasher, couple sinks, refrigeration and freezer. Here's a KitchenAid unit, another fire extinguisher. Here's the ladder to get to the upper deck where we've got the place to drive the boat, the wheelhouse. Over here is a little doorway kind of thing where we can open this up and people can escape. And I imagine that the little red thing, one of the little red things probably inflates into a slide. That can also become a lifeboat. So ways to get off the boat in an emergency. And then there's also a ladder to get down to the main crew area. I should add, this boat is meant for a crew of 5. So a captain, a first mate, a cook, a steward, and an engineer. And then it's got space for 8 passengers, including the people who own the boat, which is my very lucky Lego equivalent. And finally, we arrive at the lower deck. This is where the crew, most of the crew is housed, except for the captain. Captain was on the upper deck. And in this forward area, this is where the crew sleep and live more or less. So shower, here's a cabin for 2. These are bunk beds. Let me move this around to try to show bunk beds. Small spaces, but good for sleeping. There's another shower and bathroom. And then this is a crew lounge. These are little seats and things that can fold down, seats and tables rather. Little sink, little fridge. This is the ladder for getting up to the kitchen, or galley, I should say. Here's a little hallway, and it's got this little, I love this little part where there's a little coffee machine and some pastries and donuts and things. And this is the stair to get up to the main deck. This is the first guest cabin. We've got a king-size bed, little chair in there, a TV, and here's the bathroom, the day head. No, just a regular head with shower, I guess. Pink soap. Here's a smaller cabin for guests, so it's a smaller bathroom, but it's still complete. And these are twin beds, however they can be slid together if we want to make it a single king-size bed. Or they can slide apart. So that's the smallest of the guest cabins. And then aft is another guest cabin where we've got a king-size bed, TV, once again a big bathroom, nice tiled floor. And then there's the engine room. Engine room has things like engines, for example. There's water purifiers and fuel filters and firefighting equipment, circuit breakers, stuff, engineering stuff. And finally, we arrive at the aftmost portion of the lower deck. This is a platform that can be raised and lowered. Bathing platform kind of thing. And there's some toys there. We've got another, what are these things called? Jet skis and some surfboards, or maybe they're paddle boards. I don't know. They're things. They're cool. And this is a way to get into the engine room in an emergency. It's not normally the way you'd get in there, but it can be done. Normally you'd get into the engine room by this ladder, and there's a tiny little hatch in the salon, which I didn't show, but a tiny little hatch to get down into the engine room. So a couple ways to get into the engine room, which is probably a good thing. Also note that there are windows in all of these cabins. Every cabin has at least one window. Most of the bathrooms, the heads, have bathrooms too. Whoops. Most of the bathrooms or heads have windows. And that's the Seabattical. I should also add, this boat was inspired by the real-life Nordhaven 120. And if I'm very clever, I'll see if I can figure out how to link a video tour of that boat. And that's it.